All right, we're recording. Welcome everyone to the first ever podcast, the Detailer Network podcast. We got Andrew here. He runs a Flatiron Detailing. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us today and being a part of this first episode.
Absolutely, man. I'm so grateful to be here and thank you again. And it's been great to talk to you so far and look forward to future episodes and seeing what this is all about. And proud of you. And this is just great all around, man.
Yeah, amazing, right? We're just gonna start this episode off. We're gonna do a little introductions, talk about our episode topics, and then we'll get straight into it.
Great.
So, welcome everyone to the Detailing Podcast. This is Andrew. Andrew, if you wanna, speak a little bit on your background, and we'll get started.
Sure. So my name is Andrew Newhoffen. I'm the owner and founder of Flatirons Detailing and Flatirons Auto Supply in Denver, Colorado. That's where we're locally owned and based. I started off kind of in a different sector. Fortunately, I found my way in the past couple years, as a lot of detailers have and entrepreneurs as well, and I'm grateful and blessed to be where I am. So I grew up in Denver and actually the Boulder area, and I ended up going to Alabama for my freshman year. I was pre-med, set on the stone from the beginning. And after my freshman year in Alabama, I decided that culture shock was a little bit too much and kind of wanted to get back to my home roots. So I moved back to Colorado and back to the Boulder area. Ended up moving back to CU and transferring to CU Boulder. And that's where I finished out my two bachelor's degrees. Really nice to be close to home and everything, and continued on with the pre-med coursework and everything. Absolutely loved it. I was working for the University of Colorado Anschutz down here, which is the medical campus, working in their brain bank, which was really amazing. Fortunate to do something so amazing, working with the MS Center of Denver, etc. Incredible work. And then the pandemic set in, and I was hired by Children's Hospital of Colorado, which was incredible. That's where my wife currently works as a PICU nurse, and I was working on the one of the Pfizer vax studies for the COVID vaccine, and
Wow.
getting paid pretty minimally, working 70 plus hours a week, uh, quickly made me realize that I might need something else. I was in the middle of getting my master's of public health, and I've always loved cars. As a backstory, I've had a couple Audis myself, Nissan, a Mustang. I love cars and always have been. I've been a motor fiend per se, and I decided that detailing for my own family and my own cars wasn't enough, and I started off kind of detailing as a side hustle, if you will, at the very beginning of the pandemic, and I detailed for my now wife's family and my family, some family friends in the neighborhood, and again I wasn't living in Boulder at the time, so kind of difficult to find clients when you're living in a college town. Hence the Flatirons. The Flatirons are in the Flatirons are the mountain range in the Boulder area where I grew up and went to school, like I said, at CU. That's kind of where the name came from. But anyway, furthermore, I decided after working on the VAC study for probably 4 to 5 months, and working odd end jobs and whatever have you through the beginning of what would have been med school and such, and then to my master's, I decided that I was actually going to drop out of healthcare completely. And it was kind of a crazy turn of events. And I get questions to this day, new clients, family members, my wife's family, etc. People that really care about me, and they're asking me for a good reason. What happened? Like, why would you drop out of healthcare? Why would you, take something that was such a, an aspiration for so many, including myself, for, it took 8 years of my life, if you will, 7 years of my life to really try to complete. And, I walked away from it, still had some debt, all that jazz, but it was worth it. And to me, the answer is simplistic. You have to do what you love. And I think doing what you love is deeper than just a career because, physicians, they come out making, pretty good money after residency and, adequate enough to pay for a house in Colorado and sustain a family and whatever have you. But for me, it was more important to have the ability to see my family, my now wife, on a day-to-day basis. She's already a nurse working 12 to 14-hour shifts, and I wanted more flexibility. I wanted the ability to build something of my own. And although I took part in research and everything at the medical campus here in Denver and Aurora, it just didn't feel like I was able to really put my foot forward, in my own name, if you will. And that's important to me, and not just in terms of putting my name on the brand of a business, because I didn't go with Andrew Detailing or New Holland Detailing from the start. We never have changed names or rebranded, of course. It's
Mm,
always just been Flatirons Detailing. And I think it's really important to speak on, this is me building a business, but me building people first and not just a business. So here we are, 2.5 years in, almost exactly to the day. And we have Flatirons Detailing, Flatirons Chemical Supply and Detail Supply. We're working on patenting a couple chemicals that are all water-based, kind of the first of their kind. So expensive to get started, but it's been a wild ride, extremely blessed. Had my brother working for me and, some employees now. And yeah, it's been just incredible, man. Could not be more grateful for what's happened. A lot of it's the clients that I have, and some of it's luck, of course. Like
for sure, for
I
sure.
cannot, discount that by any means, but very, very grateful for what I have.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, and that's why I was so excited about getting you here on this podcast to, put that story out there.
Thank you.
It's not one you hear every day from any detailer. It's definitely a very inspiring one, You you really took your passion and ran with it, even though you had this great career option. It
True.
really goes to show to a lot of detailers out there that, you know, this is a real career choice and you can really turn this into something special and something big.
Yes, absolutely. And even more so to piggyback on that, there's so many other careers in the service industry that, I guess I just discounted, when I was going through the pre-health area in undergrad and, through getting my master's. And, now one of I guess, so I have three younger brothers, and my youngest brother, Sam, is working at MTech and also going to school full time, probably like 70 hours a week. But man, is he crushing. He's learning things about plumbing and commercial plumbing specifically that I couldn't imagine even. I mean, he's almost an engineer at this point, and he's in his first year, getting paid more than I was. It's pretty incredible. And most importantly, he's doing what he loves, and he's in a service industry, which it's not for everyone. It's for the hard workers, potentially the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the people that really want to grind, day in, day out, and set themselves up, their family, their friends for success. And I think that's ultimately important to all of us as entrepreneurs.
For sure, 100%. I love to hear that story. So we're gonna jump into a few questions here.
Sure.
Um, Growth strategies. How do you attract your clients and how do you set your pricing?
So the first time I ever had a client, it was just in my neighborhood, I guess outside of my family and friends, and someone had just saw me or seen me detailing, out, I think it was in my mother's driveway in Broomfield, Colorado, and I ended up doing this huge Escalade, and they had, I think, 5 kids, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
No judgment or anything, of course, but man, it was a disaster detail, and it was my first one. I think I probably charged $150, something along the lines. Took me 6, 7 hours, spent all day, and she was kind of displeased. Kind of crazy, right? So
Oh, no.
then from the very, very start, I decided we've got to go referral only. We've got to start from, family, friends. We've got to move outward. I don't want to run ads. I don't want to spend money on marketing and all the Instagram boosts and the things that you see. Detailers growth. I've heard that they do great work, but I didn't have the money for that. I had my med school loans and all the stuff to pay for. So I decided again from that pretty much the first detail, we've got to go referral only. So I was living down in like Denver at the time, just commuting back and forth to Boulder, to my mom's house, pretty much everywhere. Anyone that would have me, me out for a quick detail, leaving her wife down. And I posted on a neighborhood page in the Central Park area, which is here in Denver. I think it used to be called Stapleton, pretty close to the airport actually. And it's a very family-centric neighborhood. A lot of very young individuals, young entrepreneurs, business people. A lot of physicians live there. That's why, my now wife and I lived there at the time because it was so close to the medical campus. But things picked up pretty quickly. If you do really exhaustive work toward the beginning, I think the clients really notice that. I was not, I was sweating and probably looked disastrous. You've probably seen those gifs of the guys holding the
Yeah,
buckets and stuff,
yeah,
trembling to go toward their detail. That was me in the beginning. And, and still to this day, I can't deny that that happens every once in a while.
for
But growth has been synonymous with hard work and also, honestly, just the ambition. And if you don't have the ambition to really jump into your own business, that's okay. I think for a lot of people, it's okay to start off, working for a detailing shop or for a mobile detailer. There's a lot of young hustlers that, think that it's, I don't want to say easy, but easier than it is to own a business. And, it's certainly not. We've all had our adversity thrown at us and it helps us grow. But, you know, business ownership is not necessarily for everyone. I mean, that's okay. And then I would say our secondary growth tactic is honestly just being within the community. The car scene here in Denver is relatively hidden. Not a lot of people know of it. There aren't a ton of supercar meets per se. Not a lot of uh, go to anything. There are some supercar Saturdays, coffee events,
Sorry,
etc.
I
No,
see a
go.
lot of classic cars actually. I see a lot of like muscle cars, those old school like
Yep, you're right
Shelby's,
about that.
Mustangs.
The
Those
muscle car scene is huge, especially as you go down into like southern Colorado, in like Pueblo area. Huge, low riders. It's pretty incredible actually. But you really have to get your foot in the water pretty deeply,
yeah,
or I guess start to get to where you're treading water almost, and where you have clients being thrown at you from every direction. And that's kind of what we did. We went to Cars and Coffee events and Supercar Saturdays, and
mm,
you meet one or two clients, that don't necessarily care about you as as a detailer, but they care about you as a business owner and you as a person. And those one, two, three people turn into five, six. Those five, six turn into 10, 15, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a snowball effect. It's very exponential if you let it and if you allow it, if you put that work in, if you will. So I think the referral only is not for everyone, but if you have the um, momentum going and you can sustain that, I think it's really important to keep your not inclusivity really small, because we want to include every car, every value of car, from I think the earliest vehicle we've done is probably a 1957 Porsche, and we yeah, actually
yeah,
2 days ago we did 2025 McLaren. So it's we're all over the place, and we're not just working on luxury cars.
yeah.
We've got to cater to everyone. It's important to me to stick to that because I came from minivans. I'm sure a lot of us did. So
100%. Yeah, piggybacking off of what you said earlier, I definitely think that clients can spot who is really putting in that effort and putting in that hard work. Like you come there when the sun is up and you're leaving and you're still working while the sun is down. They highly appreciate that and they see the value in it. And it's something that helps them even want to stick with you as a detailer and keep you as a regular person for them. So hard work definitely builds businesses here.
certainly, no, I couldn't agree more with that.
But okay, that was a great answer. So
Thank you.
I think we also missed I think we also
There we
missed
go.
how you set your pricing in the beginning even till now. Like how has that
Sure.
changed for you?
Yeah.
Like where did you get the idea of like $100 for your first detail?
Yeah. So pretty much I was used to getting the whatever it was at the time during the pandemic, 13.70 an hour or something. I don't know what the federal minimum wage
Yeah,
was, but that's what I was getting paid.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I had taught CPR classes on and off throughout undergrad. I was a part of the SEMS program at CU Boulder, but didn't really get paid, honestly. It was just more of a volunteering thing. And I was like, I've got to start getting paid more than $10 an hour. Like I know physicians get paid a lot, but even resident physicians, they're making $50,000 a year and they're MDs. They're physicians. They're working on actual patients and labs, et cetera. It's pretty crazy.
yeah,
And what I realized pretty quickly, even not even quickly, after that first detail, truly, is that $100 is just the bare minimum for a detail. And if I'm going to be spending 7 hours, I think, as I did that day, and it was still looking iffy, because I didn't have the proper tools. I probably had a vacuum and some
yeah,
Windex and, some basic Adams polisher or some Adams interior cleaner, excuse me.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
was, hit and miss from the beginning. But I quickly realized that if you price at the top, you will have the top clients. And I don't even mean top in terms of supercars and exotics, because that doesn't make you a top person by any means. I'm talking about the top clients in terms of people that will refer out, that appreciate your services and appreciate your effort as a person, that know that even if they have a huge black Escalade that's, covered in dirt and dog hair and mud and everything from the Colorado elements, I mean, most of us use our cars out here, that
Yep.
we're going to do the best that we can every single time. If you have us out every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or every year, we're still going to do that same level, or we're still going to add that same level of effort. Whether it's me, one of my employees, whatever tools we have on site, we're going to do the same job. So,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, 100%. That's something I've seen in my own business is pricing definitely matters. And if you cut yourself short, your clients will too. Your clients will
yeah,
take advantage, step over you, but
yeah,
you gotta charge what you're worth and
yeah,
have people respect, what you're doing and your craft and
yeah.
everything. It's
Well,
hard
and
work.
to piggyback, it's certainly hard work. And to piggyback on that, I always, I have a lot of younger detailers that'll approach us on Instagram or at car shows or whatever locally. I love that stuff, by the way, guys. If you're
Yeah.
listening to this, approach us because seriously, that's what makes the world go round. We all need to eat. I'll say that 100 times on this podcast and in the future. Everybody eats at my table. And seriously, I mean that. I want everyone to eat and grow. Um, but don't ever give out your work for free. Find value in your work first before you allow clients to find value. Because there is value in detailing. We are not car washers. And if you're a car washer, frankly, that's not synonymous with detailing. People that spend years trying to learn the rotary, which I'm still learning, of course, and I've been doing it for years now, even on my own vehicles. It's not easy work, as you said. And we really don't need, we don't need to sell ourselves short, especially in an oversaturated market that we already have.
For sure, for sure. It's something that's tough to learn, but once you learn it, it makes a big difference in the business. So,
Certainly.
moving on a little bit here, um, what social media tactics do you find are working best for you? Like, I know you have a pretty, I don't know if you guys want to check out Andrew's page, Flatiron Detailing. He has a great page. I love the way it's set up, how everything's kind of uniform, all the pictures are the same. It gives you a good look at each car and, the work you guys do. So, what do you kind of use your social media to kind of do for your business?
So that's just it. Exactly what you just said. Everything is very seamless. Everything is the same aesthetically, very symmetrical. We always have that front quarter angle shot of
Yeah.
the driver's side, or I guess the U.S. North America driver's side, if you will, not UK
Yeah.
or European. But um, it's very, 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 very strict as to how we post and to why we do that. And I think Instagram specifically, Facebook as well, but specifically Instagram has allowed us to grow exponentially. We found really great athlete clients, executive clients, family friend clients that didn't even know we were the detailers involved. And they looked at the bio and oh, I remember Andrew, I remember Jason, I remember all these people from when they were younger. Pretty
Yeah.
crazy how small the world is. Even having however many million people we have here in the Denver area, it's just tremendous.
For sure.
I think that Instagram is important though to inspire through positivity. I think that so many people, especially in the service industry and the detail community, are just negative Nancy's all the time. And I could go on and on, which with much worse language as to what people, talk to each other with. And, it's just a cut down society that, and I'm sure you could attest to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really important to change that status quo for me. And I'm sure you as well. It's just, we've got to tell people what work is good and what work is bad. And that doesn't mean that I'm the, end all be all that can judge that. But, real sees real. And the real detailers that are hustling, even in the beginning, if they're making mistakes and burn through pain or whatever have you, we see that and we see that you're hustling. And that's so cool. As business owners, we're all colleagues in the industry. We're miles and thousands of miles apart in some cases. And, some of my best friends now are in Florida in the detailing industry and Canada, in
Yeah.
California, Hawaii. It's incredible, honestly, the community that you can build through Instagram, through social media. We don't use any of the boost features or any of the marketing ads. Like I said, referral
Mhm.
only, and it's worked for us. And that's not going to work for everyone, of course. But,
For
if
sure.
you can make it work, I think it's great. And each post, I think the reason that we've made it so synonymous, if you will, with our Flatirons brand is because we want to be known for having that same level of execution and effort at every location. We're a mobile-based detailing company. We have a little shop area and whatever have you for
Yeah.
small PPF, wrap jobs, tent, whatever have you, but it's not the same as a full-fledged, auto styling shop like some of my colleagues in the Denver area have.
Yeah.
And since we're mobile based, we need to really ensure that our clients see that, if we're out in Aspen, if we're in Vail up in the mountains and it just snowed, like we were up there 3 weeks ago in the Vail area, it was dumping snow, it's ski season. And we're still able to do a full proper interior detail as long as the temperature's up, we have the proper equipment, etc. We always do. We try to make things seamless, and if things appear seamless, they're going to be seamless. And we try to equalize and find an equilibrium. It's a balance. You don't want to over execute or over promise. I always say to my employees, especially, always under promise, over deliver. And I think we can all attest to that as not just detailers, but entrepreneurs. If you do that with your clients, you're going to provide tremendous results every time for them. And they're going to be choosing you as their service provider every time as well.
For sure. And that's what you want. You want to be able to provide a service that people can rely on and depend on, you know, a consistent service where people, they know what they're getting into every time they call you or send you a message. It just makes their lives easier, makes everyone's lives easier. So,
Yep.
moving on, community building. How do you say you've made a lot of friends around the country and even outside of your country, detailers and whatnot. Even I know we were speaking last time about one of your friends that's in landscaping as well too. So how do you connect with others in the even not just the only the detailing industry, but the service industry in general?
Yeah, it's really important for me to connect with people in all, industries. I have a couple clients that are roofers, a couple that are custom home builders, people that work in politics, people that are executives at companies, a lot of physicians back, where I used to live in like the Central Park, Denver neighborhood. But, everyone, to be honest. I think it's important to connect with business owners, people that own franchises. We used to detail for Chick-fil-A over in Denver, which was
Nice.
fantastic, a ton of work, but man, we got so much work out of that and a lot of experience, a lot of free Chick-fil-A
Yeah,
sandwiches, which might I add are delicious. I like the spicy variety myself.
you
But
can't go wrong.
anyway, detailing for Amazon, detailing for, just putting our hands in the bucket everywhere we can. Super, super important. Trying to
For sure.
sponsor, there's a race team that's going to be coming. I guess it's going to be a Denver-based race team, and we're going to be sponsoring them with all the ceramic coatings, interior, exterior, helping with PPF however we can.
Yeah.
Just interjecting ourselves wherever we can, not just detailers, but, as car lovers. I mean, that's what we are, right? A
Yeah.
lot of us, at least. Some of us, we're okay with just the Nissans and whatever, but, I'm the sports car guy. Like I said, I had a Mustang, I've had an Audi, and I've loved every minute of it. I've settled back a little bit, but that's the goal eventually, right?
The feeling of working on a car that, you know, you just you would look at or you would see and like you'd be like, wow, that's an amazing car. But something about working on that car or, being hands-on with it is just a totally different experience and it's something that's amazing about this industry.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely I agree. Connecting with the community, whether it be detailers or non-detailers, it's super important. It's super, you never know what you can learn from people, or, you never know what you can teach people that, you thought it was just something simple that you picked up, but to somebody else that could change their whole business. So,
Yeah.
community is definitely important, and yeah. So let's keep going here. How did you, sorry.
No, you're fine.
So scaling and hiring for your business, how did
Mhm.
that look for you? What was your first hire? How did it go? And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's been crazy world, honestly, a crazy couple years. Things have happened very quickly. It's only been 2.5 years. Will be 3 years a business or an LLC in April. So not even 3 years, I guess. That's crazy to think about. But I started off, just posting some normal cars on Instagram and, friends that loved cars as well at the car club at CU, my brothers. How can I get involved in that? Can you detail my car? I always say that, it's easier to make friends of clients than it is to make clients of friends. Because, not all friends are going to respect your services or your effort or, the fact that this is your livelihood at the end of the day. This is your business. This is something you're trying to grow for not just yourself, but your family. That's, I think that's something that we all need to take a step back into. But hiring, my first employee was actually my brother. And I thought, that was a great step. We were very interchangeable. We look a lot alike, but we have a lot of the same attributes, attitudes, ethics, etc. So it was really seamless. And second employee was his friend. We hired on full time after like, man, probably 4 months of him being full time. It was quick. And we ended up buying our first rig, cement gray Tacoma, and it just kept going from there. And you buy more supplies, you buy a storage unit, or I guess you rent out a storage unit. You throw all of your money back into your business, except for rent and whatever have you, all the overhead expenses.
Yeah,
Not that rent is one, but you get my point.
for sure.
And sky's the limit. And that's what I've tried to tell a lot of the local detailers that I've met and people on Instagram, etc., people that I've had one-on-one calls with. There are
Mhm.
different businesses for different, business owners. You can be the business owner that, works 9 to 5 and your hat's off at the end of the day and you're done. And that's okay. And
Yeah,
I'm not one of those people, like if I was working that 70-hour, whatever it was, week, for children's and, during the pre-medical phase, that's all right. I liked it. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day, no matter what. So it's
that's
okay
amazing.
with me.
That's amazing. So,
A lot of
what
people
was it
like it
like?
though.
Oh, so what was it like training your brother? Was there any like kind of arguments like, no, I think this is better, or
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And like I think that we had an understanding that like I took that initial risk of investment, not just in time, but in, capital, if you will. You have to buy a truck, you have to buy compressors, a generator, all of the supplies, a storage unit, insurance for the truck.
yeah,
Sky's the limit. You can really build a business quickly with a lot of capital, but you can also build a pretty successful business not with a ton, as long as you have the right mindset. And we really had to link heads. And there was some combating, but not really any arguments. It was more like, how do we grow this business the largest, the fastest? And people have varying ways of doing so, and that's okay. Especially if they're your family. You got to love them at the end of the day. And
yeah,
even if they don't want to work for you in the end, or even if they don't want to work with you, that's okay. They're all a part of the process. It's a stepping stone. Hiring his friend was a little bit more difficult. It was a different dynamic just because, you want to give them a little bit more grace because, you're their friend as well, but you're the boss at the end of the day and you have to remain the boss. And I love to chat it up with all the employees all day long because we all love cars, we all love to work out, we love snowboarding, fly fishing, all there is to do in Colorado, but we still have a time and a place to work just as everyone else does. We're trying to be the best that we can be. We want to be the best detailers in Colorado. It'd be great to move into other areas as well, have a shop in like California or Montana or something like that, and other mountain states that we love, where some of my employees have been from as well, have the ability to have them franchise or do something, of their own sort. I am never against, not even not, I'm never against people growing within themselves, whether that's starting their own business, growing within, their own uh, corporate accounts or whatever have you. Like, please do the best that you can and be the best that you can be, because I'm doing that every day for myself. I pray for that, for everyone that I meet. It's honestly, it's powerful.
that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that energy that you have of, helping put people in positions where they can grow and they can, better themselves. And I think you being on this podcast will be helpful for a lot of detailers out there, any detailers listening or watching. reach out to Andrew. That's all I'm saying. This guy is great.
This is just the start, though, man. We've spoken, let's say a half dozen times now, but I can feel
Right.
this very similar energy where people, like I said, the real sees the real. I was just talking to one of my newer employees about that yesterday we did a toy drive here in Denver, and it was just incredible. The people that are passionate, not just about business, but about meeting people, interjecting themselves in the community. We lack community all over. I don't care if you're in the US, Canada, Europe, Africa, Asia, truly all over. Yeah, we have a couple detail friends in Australia. One of my friends, Tim, I was just talking to,
Yeah.
and we have the same issues, and it's that we don't have community. And any ways that we can build that, not even just with the Flatirons brand, who cares about the name, we want a car culture, we want friends, we want enthusiasts to get together, people that appreciate detailing and automotive sport, F1 culture, all that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
It's watches. A lot of those people in those activities go hand in hand, hobbies and the
Yeah.
inclusions. It's interesting.
For sure, for sure. So, moving on here,
Mhm.
another question I'm even curious to ask you is, what do you think are some helpful tools or apps with managing your business? Like for
Sure.
me personally, I know I use stuff like Square for payments and like, Wix, websites, all these kind of things,
Yep.
booking systems, all these kind of things, behind the scenes as people outside of the business, they don't really see these things, but inside,
Mhm.
it's something we can't live without, right? So,
Certainly not. It's the livelihood, right? I mean,
yeah,
aside from our employees and the tools we use, but specifically, I mean, like tools day in day out. Absolutely love Tornador. That
yes,
thing will just blow everything out of the car. It's pretty
yes,
tremendous. Actually, just started using that less than a year ago, and I've been in the business for 2.5 years. I don't know how we did without, but we did it. And then for the exterior, obviously the rotary polisher. A DA can do a job but not the job and every job that you need it to. And it just excels most of the time. So of course we're using a Rupees or the Rupes
yeah,
polisher, yeah, all the time. And I think they actually have a plant here in like the Boulder area. So we've been able to ship a couple of parts, or I guess the
yeah,
machines in and out and get it done pretty quickly. So we're trying
yeah.
to build more of a relationship with them because, probably, no ad here, of course, because we're not sponsored, but seriously love those tools. They're really great. They're easy to work on. But in terms of like the day-to-day, business, like on the computer and stuff, we use Wix as well. I've done all the website pretty much myself, all of the photography, we own outright. We've done an LLC for the photography, for the supplies, for the chemicals, for everything, just to make it legally sound and then also operate seamlessly. We have several employees doing many things and wearing different hats. So it's important to have, designated LLCs and, proper allocations for everything. I think that's really important. And then, we use QuickBooks, which is
Yeah.
our day-to-day software for payroll, for invoices, for everything. And it works really well. And fortunately, that also works very seamlessly with our banking, which I won't say honestly. It's Chase. They do a great job, but again, no ad here, I guess. And then, Square and Venmo do a wonderful job for us for the credit card and then the cash payments.
Yeah.
Not often do we get very many cash payments, especially these days. People love e-payments, whether that's having their, Apple, everyone's got their iPhone ready, right?
Yeah,
So
the tap.
yep. So, I mean, I do it myself, right?
Hmm.
And it's, we try to make that as seamless as possible for all of our clients. For our clients that have people or that have us out every 4 to 8 weeks, if they miss a payment or whatever have you, we're not worried about it. We'll see you in a little bit. But we really try to stay on top of that overhead and ensuring that every employee is taken care of, all the insurance is taken care of, bills are paid ahead of time. The overhead and the book check and the balance, the balancing is a job in itself. I'm not a CPA or a business major. I majored in neuroscience and integrated physiology, and then did some public health stuff. Certainly, not my, my alley or, I guess my traditional alley, but I really, I enjoy this part of the business and it's something that I can just sit at home and work on my laptop while my wife and I are watching a movie or whatever. It's something I can quickly do on the plane or whatever. It's very, very nice to have the versatility of the business and have it all online now.
That's very, very true. That's something, it makes it easier for us and it makes it easier for our clients. Just kind of simplifies the whole process of, booking and everything like that. It definitely makes things easier on us and helps us focus on, the work, the
Yep.
actual detailing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's a great place for us to stop for today. We got a lot of good topics in and good chat. So
Yep.
for anybody watching, thank you guys for listening and supporting. If you'd like to subscribe, leave some comments if you have any questions for me, Andrew. Um, we're definitely responsive. We'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. And yeah, that's all for today. Thank you guys for joining us.
Appreciate you all so much for listening and thank you for having me. I look forward to future episodes, listening in and chatting with everyone. Thank you again.
For sure. We'll definitely have to have another episode, catch up again soon and see
Yep.
where you guys are sitting at.
Yep. And get out to Colorado, man. I'd
Yeah,
love to have you out for a day.
I would love to, you know what? I was thinking about visiting to do the podcast, but I was like maybe for like the second or third one.
Oh man, yeah. Well, if do you ski or snowboard, by the way? Because we can talk about that another time. But
Yeah,
we're both in that same region.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Love it,
Anyways,
man.
let me stop the recording here.